The article discusses the significance of the Bihar caste survey in the context of Indian politics. The survey reveals a broad consensus among opposition parties, including Congress and unaligned parties, to challenge the ruling BJP. It highlights the enduring role of caste and religion as essential elements in Indian politics. Contrary to critics who view it as a return to old-fashioned politics, the survey represents a new form of caste-based politics, termed Mandal 2.0. This evolving approach aims to mobilize the precariat, comprising lower OBCs, Dalits, and Muslims, by addressing their aspirations for upward mobility within the framework of caste identities. Unlike previous attempts, this progressive politics of caste has garnered widespread support, indicating a potential shift in Indian political dynamics.
The article discusses the similarities between Hamas' recent Operation Toofan Al-Aqsa and the 19-day Yom Kippur War from 50 years ago. Despite the ongoing conflict, Israel is not under existential threat, and it's expected to prevail over Hamas, although the military engagement could prompt Israel to revise its strategic doctrines. The conflict, confined to Gaza, reveals divisions within the Palestinian territories and limited regional support for Hamas. The situation presents Israel's government with a crucial choice, potentially impacting regional geopolitics and delaying Saudi-Israeli rapprochement. While India might face indirect consequences such as rising oil prices and potential impacts on investments, it could also be seen as a stable economy amid regional turmoil.
The Delhi police have filed a first information report, FIR, against Prabir Purkayastha, founder of NewsClick, invoking the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA, and accusing him of undermining national security. The FIR, however, lacks specific details or evidence of any offense, broadly alleging conspiracies to disrupt the country's security and essential services, without mentioning any specific unlawful activity. The police seem to link remittances by an American businessman to NewsClick with a purported Chinese conspiracy, potentially serving the ruling BJP's electoral agenda. This move raises concerns about the misuse of anti-terror laws to curtail media and individual rights, highlighting a worrisome trend in the current regime.
The RBI's Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, decided to keep interest rates unchanged despite acknowledging the major risk posed by high inflation to macroeconomic stability. In the first quarter, retail inflation averaged 4.63%, but it sharply accelerated in the last quarter, reaching 7.44% in July and 6.83% in August. The MPC raised its projection for average second quarter inflation from 6.2% to 6.4%, indicating concerns about inflationary trends. Despite this, the RBI refrained from raising interest rates, possibly due to concerns about India's fragile economic growth momentum. The central bank also noted weaknesses in exports and uneven monsoons as risks to the country's GDP growth projection of 6.5% for FY24.
The debate over railway gauges in India has resurfaced, with some advocating for standard gauge (SG), while most of India's railways operate on broad gauge (BG). While SG proponents cite international universality, space efficiency, and technological availability, critics argue that these benefits are not significant and can be mitigated. BG supporters highlight its higher capacity, integration potential with existing rail networks, and negligible differences in speed and throughput compared to SG. They suggest that integrating new rail systems with the extensive existing BG network would enhance efficiency, patronage, and emergency responses. The government is urged to reconsider building all future rail systems in BG.
The publication of a caste survey report in Bihar has sparked controversy in Karnataka, where a similar survey conducted in 2016 has been kept under wraps. The survey, conducted by the Karnataka State Backward Classes Commission, could potentially impact the power dynamics and backward class reservation matrix in the state. The Virshaiva, Lingayat and Vokkaliga communities, which have traditionally held political power, oppose the survey's publication, fearing reduced political influence. The report, estimated to benefit around 200 backward communities without political representation, may not be released until after the 2024 Lok Sabha elections due to political considerations.
In the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, an unprecedented incursion by Hamas militants into Israel led to fierce battles between Israeli soldiers and Hamas fighters in southern Israel. Hamas militants, supported by thousands of rockets, breached Israel's security barrier, taking captives, including women, children, and the elderly. Over 600 people have reportedly been killed in Israel, including 44 soldiers, while 313 people have died in Gaza. The conflict has resulted in a staggering toll on both sides, with civilians paying a heavy price. This attack represents the deadliest assault on Israel in decades, far surpassing the number of Palestinian casualties.
A glacier lake outburst flood, GLOF, in Sikkim, India, resulted in a massive flood on 4th October, causing significant damage. GLOFs occur when large lakes formed from melting glaciers suddenly break free of their natural dams. The South Lohana Glacier in North Sikkim, one of the fastest retreating glaciers, experienced the event. The exact trigger remains uncertain. However, satellite images suggest a drained lake, indicating a potential moraine collapse. The flood destroyed the Chungathang Dam, impacting the Teesta 3 hydropower project and disrupting communication. GLOFs pose increasing risks due to climate change, emphasizing the need for better planning and early warning systems.
India's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has unveiled the Digital India Act 2023, DIA, to replace the outdated Information Technology Act of 2000. The DIA aims to bring India's regulatory framework in line with the 21st century digital landscape, addressing challenges such as cyberstalking and trolling while fostering responsible use of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain. It emphasizes online safety, ethical AI practices, and open internet principles. However, concerns exist about potential impacts on innovation and freedom of expression, requiring careful enforcement, stakeholder balance, and ongoing adaptability for successful implementation in India's dynamic digital arena.
The debate between active and passive fund management has been ongoing for decades, but the rise of index mutual funds since 1976 has significantly tilted the favor towards passive funds. Actively managed funds demand higher management costs, usually ranging from 1 to 1.5% of assets under management, AUM, along with other costs like churning costs associated with repeated buying and selling. In contrast, passively managed index funds have lower management costs, between 0.07% to 0.3%, and enjoy long-term compounding benefits. Recent data supports the idea that adopting a passive indexing strategy is wise for long-term investors due to lower fees and consistent performance.
Consanguinity, the practice of marrying close relatives, has shaped human ancestry and influenced genetic vulnerabilities. Approximately 15 to 20% of the global population practices inbreeding, particularly in Asia and West Africa. Scientists analyze relatedness through genomic tools, studying identity by state or identity by descent. Inbreeding has been observed in ancient civilizations, and scientists have examined its effects on various populations, including Ashkenazi Jews and the Amish. Consanguinity increases the risk of recessive genetic diseases, with ongoing research focusing on complex diseases like type 2 diabetes. Advances in genomics may lead to personalized medicine and genetic counseling to mitigate risks associated with consanguinity.
Phonotaxis, the movement by an animal in response to sound, is a phenomenon observed in various creatures such as crickets, moths, frogs, and toads. There are two types of phonotaxis: positive, where females are attracted to males of their species, and negative, which serves as a warning signal. For instance, crickets use positive phonotaxis to attract mates, while some animals use it to avoid predators. In a specific case, Mediterranean house geckos were observed using positive phonotaxis to locate female crickets in burrows and consume them. Phonotaxis plays a crucial role in the survival and mating behaviors of many species.